In tonight's Crisis in the Classroom report, several school districts around our area are facing major budget shortfalls heading into the next school year. As News 4 San Antonio's Matt Roy tells us, superintendents across the state say if they don't get more money from the state, layoffs and massive cuts are the next step.
Given our dire financial situation,
this has probably been the worst budget I've had to do as a superintendent.
Two superintendents, one glaring issue. The budget. Since the legislature didn't increase district funding last year, budget shortfalls are becoming commonplace, with experts saying it's likely only going to get worse.
They're screwed. If you want to just boil it down to one word, they are. Northside ISD is projecting a $99 to $100 million deficit going into the coming academic year. Northeast ISD estimating about a $38 to $39 million deficit. Why? Because the state of Texas did not fund public education properly.
Texas hasn't increased school per pupil funding since 2019. In the 2023 legislative session, despite a record $32 billion in revenue surplus, lawmakers chose not to spend any of that money to increase funding.
The position that public school districts have been put in by the governor and by the legislature are now untenable.
UT Austin professor David DeMatthews says when schools face budget shortfalls, the ones truly impacted are minorities.
Those budget cuts disproportionately impact schools and districts serving low-income students and students of color, and that's definitely going to be the case in Texas.
So how do schools make up for the deficit? School districts will try to cut programs, they'll cut extracurricular activities, but according to former Northside ISD Superintendent Brian Woods, the only real way is to cut people.
So when I was in Northside, greater than 85% of our budget was tied up in all of the people. So if you're going to make substantial changes to your budget as a school system, you're essentially going to have fewer people.
Now, with many schools at their tipping point, all eyes are on the 2025 legislative session. SAISD Superintendent Jaime Aquino says if funding doesn't come then, dark times are coming.
if next year we spend another legislative session without no increase in the basic allotment, we're going to have serious conversation of major cut, layoff.
Matt Roy, News 4 San Antonio.